Hello again guys, and welcome back to Vaultville. One of the first things that I'd like to do today is try and get our power problems sorted. Hopefully we can do that if we can complete the appropriate research. We're only 2% away from the Wave power plant. And I've remembered to install the extra mod I was talking about. Now I can't remember what it was called. Something like extended data in rollover or something like that. It's quite easy to find though. If you just go to the Simtropolis website, you can find the list of mods for SimCity 5 or SimCity 2013. This particular mod was actually created by one of the Maxis developers, and all you do, it's a small little file. You just download the file. It's a compressed zip file, extract it, drop it into the appropriate game folder. And what we have now is if we click on a residential building, we can actually see the number of residents. We can see that this building has room for 7 workers, but currently only has 6. It has 3 shoppers and 4 students, so we can tell how many people we've got. If we look on this one over here, again, that's in the same sort of place. If we look at this one, we can see this building has 332 out of a possible 400 workers, 200 shoppers, and 100 students. If we also click on industry, there's some over here. If we click on industry, we can see that they have a lot of low wealth workers, but they could do with some more high wealth workers because they have 161 job slots for high wealth and they have 338 slots for medium wealth. So all it does is put this extra information on, which is very useful. It's mostly useful because this number here, this population number, it's actually well known that it's fudged. So it just makes the number up. Where it says I've got 82,500 people in this city, if you were to just go around and actually add up the number of people in all the residences, it probably doesn't even come to about 5,000 in total. So it is a bit of a made-up number. We have this flashing thing now because we have our Wave power plants. They're actually not too bad because they produce 30 megawatts of power. They don't put out any pollution. They do cost a little bit to run, but they need control net more than anything. They're quite large. It says we can put one there. Do they not actually go in the water? How strange that it obviously thinks that that is in the water just there. But that's not an ideal place to put it. Let's pop one down here. Obviously, it's now going to have a problem because it doesn't have a road, which means it's getting no control net signal. Can we link it up with a road to somewhere? Not easily. Let's try and do this without destroying all of the neighbouring buildings. Yeah, not going to be easy. There we go. That kind of worked. So hopefully that is going to get some control net. We should have an excess of control net. I don't think we were using it all. Let's just have a look at the academy. Where do we find out what our control net output is? Control net boosted by 25%. There should be enough. So we can start another research project if we wish to. Except before we do anything else, we can upgrade it to level 3. So let us do that. That's going to take a little while, of course. Is this all going to be this Maxis Man thing again and Dr. Vu? One of these days I really should do that. What have we got going on here? You're complaining about garbage of some description. Pollution is at record levels. They still want a recycling centre. It's not a bad idea now. We're getting into the sort of point where we can afford it. What have we got here? Oh no, I think she was just about to complain that the building was offline, but I think it is now working. And look at that, we've got a 41 megawatt excess of power now, so that's quite good. Probably room to get another one of those up should we need it. Is it really worth putting one of these hot things down? I think they're quite pointless for the electric cars. Something that was just added as a bit of DLC. Would be nice to get the fusion power plant up and running, but that's going to be quite expensive. It does mean we'll be able to cut back on a few of these wind turbines, actually. So I think that's what I am going to do now, to be honest. Let's go over here. We don't need all of these now, and they're all costing us money. So let's get rid of the 2 big ones. And then what I may consider doing is if we can get another one of our coastal ones out, which we probably can because we can afford it. We should have enough control net to be able to do it. It's just I've left myself in a bit of a predicament where I don't have a lot of space where I can put one. A lot of space around here we could use. Let's put one here, right on the edge of the map. Why not? And then we can just make a very simple little road. And connect that out. There we go. So that should be up and running quite soon. And then we'll get rid of some more of these. We probably keep the power plant for a little while, because it is producing a fair bit of power for us. But we can certainly reclaim some of the space. And then have a bit more industry down here, maybe. Water pumping station is still doing absolutely fine. The water is clean. It's all good stuff. So, a recycling centre. Where are we going to have room? Well, I guess we could... Right, is that just a warning that that building hasn't got power yet? Hasn't got enough control net. Are we using all of our control net? No, we're still not using all of our control net. There must be a way to see that somewhere. Drones... Control net map. There we go. No, it says it's connected. Obviously, it was just a bit of a delay. No, it still says it needs control net. Ah, there we go. It's up and running now. It was just taking a little bit of time for it to work. It says it's working. If it says it's working, I am going to trust that it's working. Let's get rid of that. Of course, I would like to get the Amiga Co going at some point so we can actually get some drones. They'd be quite useful for things like the police station, but again, we'll deal with that when we come to it. So, recycling centre. Well, we've probably got room for one here. Let's make this power plant a little bit smaller again and give us some more room. As you can see now, we have quite a decent excess of power. So these are giving us 4.5 megawatts each. So we can actually get rid of like 4 of those and still be very positive in power, and it will give us a bit more money back. So that's given us a... Did we get that one? Yeah, that's given us a fair bit of space back there. So let's have a look at recycling. What's that? A ground scrubber. I don't think we need one of those. Recycling centre is actually quite expensive, 111,000. We can nearly afford it, so that isn't a bad thing. We also at some point want to have a look at being able to get a trade depot set up. A trade port. No, we can't have a trade port because we don't have a trade HQ, which is a bit of a shame. I think you only need it in the region, though. Yeah, trade HQ active in the region. What I've decided I'm going to do is when I build my next city, that's very much going to be a trade city. So we're going to have a trade HQ there. We are going to have the Amiga Co HQ, and we'll be able to output this stuff to other cities. But what have we got going on here? There's an issue at a mega tower. A high wealth mall level isn't getting enough shoppers to turn a profit. We do need some more high wealth residents, actually. We know this already because we've got a lot of jobs that need high wealth people that aren't being fulfilled. So let's go in and make a high wealth apartment level, just because we can. And then hopefully get enough money to put in our recycling centre, which we don't even get an award for, or a reward for, which is a bit of a shame. Let's have a look at our trade port here, well, our trade depot. It's not doing too bad. It's dealing with freight. It doesn't get a lot of stuff. I don't see any point in putting extra trucks on. It doesn't really need them. Are we still making money from oil sales? October. Yep, certainly seems like we are. Yep, we're in October, so it's still working. It hasn't completely bugged out yet. We can afford to put the taxes up a little bit more for lower wealth residents. Let's try putting it up back to that magic number. We are still getting a call for some industry as well. No, not as much as we're getting for high wealth and medium wealth residential, but they say there is still a fair bit of industry required. Don't think we can really cram anything else on this island now, but what we might try and do is upgrade these roads now. In fact, we're already at high density, we can't go any more, so why aren't these buildings upgraded yet? They're not quite happy enough, but they do have a high-tech level, so they will increase as time goes on. We just need to give them a little bit of time to get up and running. Only 2% of the way through the academy project. It's nearly full on high-wealth workers, so I don't think we have too much of a problem there. Still producing oil. Not quite at our max capacity, though it doesn't have the full amount of workers there. Let's have a quick look at our oil map. Still looks like there's plenty of oil under there. Don't think we've run out yet. Obviously, we don't want to destroy City Hall, but we could always destroy a block or two of this housing if we need to later on. So that's all good. Still haven't managed to get people in this church. Why are they unhappy? Oh, sickness. So this is the other thing with hospitals and clinics and surgeries. sick people have to make their own way to hospital, whereas injured people rely on ambulances. So that's how those work. How is our clinic doing? It's so small, which is a really weird thing. Like I said, when I played this game before, I had about 4 or 5 clinics with loads of extra waiting rooms on and 8 ambulances for each, and they still just couldn't handle the amount of people they were getting. But this is one little tiny clinic which is serving 80,000 people and still seems to be coping quite well, so that is very good. We will have to upgrade the fire station at some point. Not sure if it's necessarily going to fit in there, to be honest. We'll have to find somewhere for it to go, and like I said, we will have to upgrade... Well, probably won't have to upgrade the clinic. How's the fire station doing? Fire's extinguished 2 a day. I think these high-tech cities are just much less likely to set themselves on fire. Are you complaining about crime, or no, you want the whole Doctor Who thing? I will do this at some point, just for the sake of doing it, because it might stop the pop-ups for a while. It's a bit of annoying DLC that you don't seem to be able to disable. Government closed. Right, what's going on? Government can't run without enough staff. Zone residential to attract more workers. Workers needed? Wow, we are really short of people. I didn't realise the situation was that bad. So it's mainly high and medium wealth that we are asking for. Okay, well, let's go back into our good old reliable building of roads, which I won't build straight and I won't connect up properly because it just annoys certain people, and that's always fun to do. And these aren't snapping in the right places, which is always good. So let's have a road going out to there, and we can go out to there. Oh yeah, look at that. That's nowhere near a straight road. Oh, I love it. That's going to upset somebody so hard. Okay, right, there we go. There's some roads built. Let's get ourselves some residential. Should be plenty of room there for a bit of housing. Don't really want the residential to go all the way down the avenue there, so I think what I'll do is just run it across there. And then on the back of the avenue, we might have a bit more commercial. There we go. See how that works out. How are we doing for classrooms? Yeah, they're under capacity, so schools are doing fine. Of course, we are still building our residential level here on the Mega Tower as well, so hopefully we'll get a few more people from that. And we'll get the additional workers that are needed. Yeah, I know we need workers. That is something that we are very much working on. Still have a call for industry. We don't have a lot of space really that we can put industry on either, which is a bit of a shame. And remember, we do want to keep all of our industry on this side of the river because we want to keep it away from polluting our houses. How are we doing on power? Do we need that power? Oh, we've actually got a little bit of a deficit at the moment. So can we get another one of these wave power plants? So if we put 2 down next to each other, we should be able to easily connect them up with the road. It's just so that they get control net and power. It is eating into our monetary resources, but that's not too much of a problem. Hopefully we can get some more industry along here. Let's do that, actually. Got a bit of room for industry now that we've gotten rid of the bit of the power plant there. Let's upgrade that road as well, make it a bit bigger. Let's just crank it straight up to high density. A lot of these roads here actually haven't been... Well, a few of them haven't been upgraded. Most of them have. What have we got here? Let's make this high density as well. Let's make this high density. Let's make this high density. So we are getting to the point where we can start to make our entire city high density. Or at least start getting it there. Shouldn't really have an awful lot of low density areas now. Very little point in making this high density because most of the things that are on this street are actually just these sort of buildings, but that building might count. So we'll just do that. Okay, that is all good stuff. We are getting some industry coming in already. So not using my space to the best of its abilities, but we are still using it well. Got an excess of power, still not a huge amount. These things are outputting. It says they're working. And the good thing is with these control net places, they don't actually need workers because they're all computer controlled from a distance. So you can have lots of these without the need for workers. Yeah, they're all getting control net. That one isn't, apparently. Could have sworn we were still outputting enough control net. Yeah, it says we are. Still only at 4%. There are buildings that you can build to improve your control net reach, of course, which comes under the Academy. Control net facility. We haven't researched the control net facility, actually, so we need to do that. That's quite important. But control net excess, 8,520, so clearly we don't have an issue at the moment. We have plenty of control net. We should get that up and running. Yep, now it's running fine, and that should sort the power out. Still only a 25 megawatt excess. Oh, I hear lights coming on. Come on, power, you can do this. Of course, we have just built another level on the mega tower, which we should consider. Right, let's speed things up again. Might also be worth at some point considering getting something like a coal or oil power plant. So they do create quite a bit of pollution, and obviously while we're selling the oil, we're making a bit more money. So we are getting power, but we're getting a lot of brownouts with the sound of things. So we're definitely going to need to put some more power plants up as soon as we can afford them. Really don't want to have to do that. I'm almost regretting taking a few of those wind turbines out now, but we will see what we can do. We've certainly got the excess control net to be able to do it. So there's no reason why we shouldn't. So as soon as we can afford to put another one down, we will do. Just listen to the sound of all the lights clicking on and off because of these intermittent brownouts. We're now making 10,000 an hour, which is brilliant. There we go. We have enough to build another. Finding somewhere we can place it is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Let's put one there. It says it's going to work, so if it says it's going to work, even though it's not technically in the water, that's the game's problem, not mine. Got a bit of an issue with actually connecting it to the road, though, which is a bit of a pain. So what we'll do is we'll go... We can't even go behind it, can we? Oh, how are we going to connect that up? What's that building there? That's just some industry, isn't it? So if we knock that down, let's just speed it down so it doesn't rebuild. And we will just connect up with a road to there. That'll be absolutely fine. And we'll speed things back up again. That should be that working nicely. Still getting an awful lot of call for industrial. What have we got going on here? What are they complaining about? Build more parks. I don't really need to build more parks, so I'm not going to bother with that just yet. Residential seems to be doing good here. Got a little bit of a space issue here. That's mainly... Look at the traffic queuing to get on to the avenue. So we've got a bit of a space issue here. That's because this bit of land isn't really the right shape. We can upgrade these roads pretty much instantly, I think. We'll probably be doing that. So let's put this little half up to medium density because the roads, the blocks aren't wide enough to actually get full, a lot of small buildings on both sides. We'll just upgrade those streets and see what happens. Didn't need to go all the way up to high density there, but that should work for us. So things are going good. How is our newest power plant? It is working. How is our power situation? We have an excess, so we shouldn't be getting brownouts anymore. We may have to have a reactor at some point. We can't afford to have too many of those all over the place. What do you want? Well, you want us to get 100,000 people. Well, that should be doable. We're already at 93,000 people. Still struggling to get all of these high wealth sims into a house of worship. We've got close, but never actually managed to hit it. We now appear to be having sewage problems. We certainly do have sewage problems at the moment. So what we can do here is we can edit and we can add another sewage treatment tank. We'll pop that on that side. And that will solve that issue for quite some time. Unfortunately, it's eating away at our money again, which is not good. So we've got the sewage treatment plant. Of course, there's also a sewage sanitizer, which is actually a control net building. So the sewage treatment plant gives us... staff the academy with 200 high wealth workers. Nice. I don't want the list of achievements. So that gives us max sewage treatment rate, flow rate. So 52 and 70 kilogallons per hour versus 26 kilogallons per hour. So The sewage sanitizer doesn't give us nearly as good a sort of capacity as the treatment plant, and it is more expensive to run. What sort of size is it? I mean, obviously you can upgrade it, which would be nice, but I don't think we need that yet. I think we'll carry on with what we have for the time being. It seems to be doing a good enough job. Now, we are saving for a recycling centre. We do have fires, but I'm sure the fire department can cope. It's not like they are that busy these days. We're going to have to go around and do the bulldozing job soon. We know we've got an upgrade for the Mayor's Manor. Let's go and do that. Now, what can we actually build here now? We've got the... Let's just... Oh, we've gone down to normal speed. We've got the ability to build these things here. They raise land value in some way. Most of them just raise land value and don't do an awful lot else. So, what should we have? A sports car garage, a guard post, a guest house, or a balcony? Let's go for the guard post. There we go. That'll raise the land wealth value quite nicely. Of course, we know we've also got another City Hall module available, but I haven't put it down yet because I haven't decided exactly what I want to use that for yet. So we're going to hang fire on that one a little bit. We do now have the money to build our recycling centre, so let's get that done. It is under garbage. And now this is where we're going to find we don't actually have enough space to build it. That's not good. I was hoping it would fit in there. I mean, we could fit it in there. Let's have a look around and see where else we could potentially put it. I guess we could put it here. Still not in the best of spots. Okay, you can go on that side. That's fine. That'll work. The reason you need a bit more room is that later on you want to add things to it, such as... you've got your delivery truck and collection trucks, but you also have the reclamation line so that you can recycle various things, so alloys, metals, and then eventually move on to plastic. So you do need a little bit of room to be able to do that. It should come with one truck already. Yep, so it's got one delivery truck and 2 collection trucks. So the collection trucks basically are like garbage trucks. They will go out around the city and collect the rubbish, and then the delivery truck will take it to the recycled stuff to the trade depot. So that should be good as it is for now. Still got a few garbage cans to collect. We have to collect 10 more bins, and then we will actually get a... Well, we don't get a reward, but it'll keep them happy. Residents are still improving. Let's just speed things up again a little bit. So at least we have our sort of upgraded power plants, and we have our recycling centre, so we have achieved something. Haven't collected any bins at all yet. Are we even working? Close and hiring. Still waiting for workers, that's the problem. Of course, it is only 8 AM, so it will take a little while for people to get in there. Production has currently stopped because there are no recyclables. But as soon as the trucks get out there and start doing some collection, we'll be good. As you can see, they can actually store a certain amount of plastic and recyclables to begin with. So that's all good stuff. Don't think they've collected a single bin yet. There's definitely road access there because I can see vehicles coming in and out, which is all good. Again, generating the wealth. Money is definitely going up. Always a good thing. There's some very exciting and interesting looking buildings appearing now. What have we got here? Sentry Tower. People keep dying. It's horrible. Well, you know what? That's what happens to people sometimes. I don't know why people keep dying. The clinic seems to be doing just fine at the moment. It may be worth upgrading it to a hospital, though, just so that we can have the sort of injury and health prevention, as opposed to just waiting for people to get sick and injured and then trying to treat them. So it's more of prevention rather than treatment, really. We do still have a little bit of space over here that we haven't used. I was saving a little bit of the space around this avenue because I figured at some point we might end up having to put down a 3rd mega tower of some description. Of course, nothing stops us destroying a little housing area because, let's be honest, the amount of people you can get in a mega tower, it's easily worth destroying a few houses in order to be able to do that. How's the recycling centre doing now? Still no recyclables. That is very interesting. Why aren't you recycling anything? So we already have a reclamation line of one description, which is this one. We have a plastics reclamation line to begin with. So we could probably do with one for alloys and metal, but we don't have any recyclables. Let us put in another collection truck garage. And hopefully... yeah, recycling services available for neighbours. So why aren't we recycling? Recycling bins collected per day, 0 of 0. So nobody actually has anything for recycling. That's terrible. People aren't recycling. Why not? Not even the guy that's been constantly bugging me to get a recycling centre. Even he isn't recycling. So we're good for power. Sewage is sorted out. Traffic is absolutely terrible, as it always is. What do we have going on over here? Another Mayor's Manor upgrade available. Wow. Let's do that again. And we will have... what should we have this time? Let us have... let us have the sports car garage. Put that on the side. There we go. That'll increase the land value a little bit more again. All good stuff. Yep, we know about City Hall. As I said before, I'm leaving that for the time being because I want to wait until I decide what I'm going to put in next before we do anything else. Still a bit of call for industry. Let's have a quick look at the zoning. Billionaire's Playground. Have 10 high-density, high-wealth residential buildings in your city. Brilliant. So we're getting a bit more call for low wealth residential now. Still quite a lot of call for medium and high. A lot of call for industry as well. I certainly need to find some area that I can zone for industry. Maybe it is worth me zoning along the edge of the avenue here. There's only a limited amount of space I can use, but I guess we could go across the back here as well. Just building where we can. It's always worth building something. You can always knock it down later on. That's the good thing about it. So what else have we got going on now? There we go. The demand for industrial is going down a little bit. We've probably got at least one abandoned building. Yes, we have that one there. I'm not surprised that burnt down, to be honest. It is a very long distance away from the fire department. So what we'll do is we will take a couple of medium density streets and hopefully without destroying all of our parks and stuff, we'll just connect some of these roads up, just so that there's a bit of better access through for the facilities and things like that. Let's destroy that little building. Only reason I'm doing that is because obviously the little building is not all that important. The bigger one is better to keep. We can get rid of the roads overlay now. And we are over 200,000 simoleons. That is absolutely immense. Still no... recyclables. That is very strange. What I'm going to do for the meantime then is I'm going to get rid of that extra collection garage, because if there's nothing to recycle, then there isn't really an awful lot of point having that. So either something is broken or I'm missing something here. Where's our garbage disposal? Is it something you guys need? No, not really. You're just incinerating everything. The dump zone is practically empty. And bear in mind, we are still the only city in the region, so I don't know where everything is going. But all I can tell is... I mean, oh, this place is connected up to the road. But it is getting nothing to recycle. Well, I am completely confused by that one. Not a clue why. If any of you know, feel free to let me know, because that would be brilliant. Because sometimes this game just does things that you don't expect it to. We've hit 100,000 residents. That is fantastic. We've got another weird-looking building in here. We've got 100,000 simoleons for that. So there's no low-wealth residents in this place, in Remington Sky. It's just well, no workers. It's just shoppers and students. And they're all incredibly wealthy. What have we got going on there? Thought I saw something flash, but we are now over 300,000, so we are soon going to be able to do something useful with that. Of course, we can transfer it between our own cities as well, which means if we start up a second city, we have a huge lump sum of money that we can play with very early on. So we'll just have a quick look here at the academy. Can't really see anything here. I think they want us to research the Maglev Plop to Maglev stations. Well, we can certainly afford to do that now. So that is what we will be doing in the next video. But just have a quick look at the city. We're certainly getting a lot of futuristic looking high-rise buildings in there now. Oh, the recycling trucks actually look like they're working. Yes, we are collecting some recyclables. We're starting to get some plastic. It is working. Brilliant. Fantastic. I am happy with that. So there you go, guys. There is Vaultville in all its glory. Still powering along. Not sure what I'm going to build in the city next. It will probably be those maglev stations and then take it from there. And then I'll probably move on to a second city and start doing the sort of trade and production city. We've got some issues going on with another upgrade for the Mayor's Manor, of course, because I have such a brilliant approval rating. So we can now place the guest house down. So the guest house can go right up against the road because the guests can be on the main road and deal with all the traffic noises and the pollution. There was a little warning from the fire department. I'm not sure what that was. It's now disappeared, so they're obviously dealing with the fires quite well. So before I find something else to distract my attention and make this video run any longer, hope you guys are still enjoying the series, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.